The government vows to end badger cull in the next 5 years. I'm going to read into this more from Sky News, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article here from Sky News with the headline that the government vows to end badger cull in the next 5 years. The government wants to implement a bigger vaccinator field force to incubate the creatures in mass, and around 250,000 were culled in the past 10 years. Government figures slightly more than 3,000 badgers were vaccinated last year. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share it across social media so others are notified of this video. Now, I'm going to put a link in the description to a YouTuber called One Angry Pagan. Link will be down below. He's someone who's been keeping an eye on this a lot more than I have when it comes to looking after and protecting badgers. And I know that there's a lot of people, obviously, understandably, who are animal lovers like myself, who want to protect as much animals as possible. However, we also need to make sure that we protect ourselves from potential diseases, and we also want to make sure that our farmlands and other animals are protected as well. So it's always about striking a balance and trying to do it in such a way that we don't harm animals. And I think this is really, really important. Now, there has always been this argument that we need to reduce the numbers because of the problems that they have. There's always been this argument from those who try to justify the killings of animals. There will always be people out there who will try to make those justifiabilities of them. We have to have ways. We have to find ways of doing it which comes to the needs of killing animals. We have to try and find humane ways of dealing with them whenever situations arise, and this is another one of them. 3,000 badgers were vaccinated and 250,000 culled in the past 10 years. That's so many badgers that have been killed as a result of the culling. And then there needs to be a change in this. Now, the government obviously making this vow obviously is quite big, but whether they will stick to it is another question. And I think that's something that definitely, it's easy to say one thing, but to put it into action is another. And we'll have to wait and see over the next several years what they plan to do here. So let's read a bit more on what the government is saying as I give more of my thoughts, you guys. So the government is pledging to end the culling of badgers within the next 5 years. Okay, so they want to before pretty much run up to the next general election. The controversial practice has seen more than 230,000 badgers killed in the past decade in a bid to reduce the spread of bovine tuberculosis. As you guys know, I'm still recovering from a sore throat, so I do apologise if my voice is not great. More than 278,000 cattle have been killed to try and control the disease in the same period. These measures have cost the taxpayers north of £100 million. Instead of culling the stripped mammals, Labour wants to implement a vaccination strategy to protect both cows and badgers. This will include introducing a new badger vaccinator field force, as well as a survey of the badger population and TB infection rates. The plan is likely to end the cull by the end of the current parliament, which expires in summer 2029. Interesting. Okay. So they're expecting, obviously. That's interesting. The Minister for Food Security and Rural Affairs, Daniel Saiska, said bovine tuberculosis has devastated British farmers and wildlife for far too long. It has placed dreadful hardships and stress on farmers who continue to suffer the loss of valued herd, and has taken a terrible toll on our badger population. No more. A comprehensive TB eradication package allows us to end the badger cull by the end of this parliament and stop the spread of this horrific disease. Campaigners like Queen guitarist Brian May have long campaigned for an end to the cull, while some farmers have argued to increase it to protect livestock from it. This is farmers at the end of the day are not interested in the protection of badgers. They just want their livestock protected. That's their main priority, is protecting their livestock. The government wants to use a data-led and scientific approach to end the badger cull and is planning to accelerate work on the development of a cattle vaccine for the disease. The government confirms existing culls will go ahead to ensure clarity for farmers. So there will be still some going on at the moment, whether we like it or not. Badgers already get vaccinated for TB in various parts of the UK. According to the Zoologist Society of London, ZSL, the animals get inaugurated by hand. They get trapped in cages and jabbed before being released back into the wild. This is normally done while they're awake, although some get amphetamized briefly to check the vaccine is working. A tag on microchip is also attached to show the animal has already been jabbed. Yeah, to keep jabs on, to keep track of the badgers. Yeah, which makes understandable sense. According to the latest figures by the government, the badger vaccination season runs from May to November. In 2023, a total of 3,064 animals have been inaugurated. The thing is, you guys, is that the thing that comes to my mind is obviously I don't want any animals being put down, but at the same time, considering that I understand the government wants to end this, and I'm in agreement that I do want to end the badger culling as well. But I really cannot stress how important it is we need to try and help our British farmers as much as we possibly can as well. We need to do everything we can to help them. We know they've been buggered over by Brexit and by the last Conservative government, by some of the trade deals that they've enabled. And this obviously, the situation with the badgers has obviously been going on for a long time, and it's compounded their issues, among other things that British farmers always have to deal with. We need to give them as much help and support as they possibly can, which is because the difficult times are only going to get worse before they get better for them, as with the rest of society, unfortunately. While at the same time, I don't want culling of badgers, but at the same time, I can understand why they still need to do it to a certain extent at the moment. But obviously, if they can do it in such a way, if they can minimize it as much as they possibly can to a point where they don't need to do it, then that's great. But also, we need to make sure that we are protecting badgers as much as we possibly can as well. But it's a difficult tightrope, because on the one hand you want to protect British farmers, and on the other hand you don't want to cull badgers as well. So it is the tightrope at the moment. But the government obviously making this vow is obviously a big one indeed. But let me know what you guys honestly think down in the comments below. What do you make of badgers in general? Are badgers a nuisance? Maybe some of you are farmers yourselves. Maybe you guys have a difference of opinion about badgers. Let me know your thoughts about them and more down in the comment section below on this story. If you found this video interesting, please hit the like button. We greatly appreciate. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing, because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further, financially support me and the work that I do here, you could do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p. Or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.